Groundwork Arts introduces students to local artists and uses the artist's work as inspiration for unique art projects that encourage students to create their very own artworks.
I'm like a crow, anything shiny, like I'll go to that new medium and I want to learn everything. Well, I see everything as an art supply. Unless it costs too much money, then forget it. It's fun monsterizing things, because it's not true. It's just, to explore in your imagination.
Trained as a costume and set designer, Thyrza Segal is a storyteller who loves using found objects to create fantastical worlds and mythical monsters. She carefully paints her alien-like creatures into thrift store art prints, matching the color and style of the original artist. Her miniature monsters made of polymer clay can be found inside repurposed glassware or in outdoor environments, which are then photographed. I'm Rhonda Coleman, Director of Groundwork Arts. Today we get to meet artist Thyrza Segal, check out her art, and get a sneak peek behind the scenes.
I think my work is primarily story-driven. I'm constantly listening to stories and I'm such a voracious reader, right? But I don't read books, I listen to books.
Every single piece of yours, I kind of giggle to myself.
Good, I'm glad, because I think art can be funny.
So, but the imagery in these lenticulars are actually little miniature sculptures that you create out of Sculpey.
I made every single one of these figures and then photographed each one and then cut it out digitally and then put it together, right? So a lot of the terrariums that I make are with thrift store glassware and ceramics, but they're all little worlds unto themselves, but they're so tiny you can't really see them. But this way I'm able to blow up those little tiny worlds into a place where people can see them.
It looks like a sea creature.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, but he's
He seems like he belongs there.
Yeah.
It's an onion. It's like
It's
potato
a real onion.
head.
Yeah, it's like a Mr. Potato Head, but I like to make accessories for the potato heads, right? So I made this as a wig, like using the proper theatrical methods. I made the wig cap, and then I sewed the hair onto it, and then just with like a bobby pin or hairpin or whatever, you stick it onto the potato or onion or cucumber or whatever.
Where would you tell a student to start?
Find an image that you like. Like this painting is really great because why is that cat there? And then it's got all this like Turner like backgrounds and the velvety texture and the colors that come out, that is so vibrant that it really attracts me. And or the art is really interesting. And then I figure out what my story is. Like I might do a few test tries with tracing paper. After I've decided what it is that I'm going to do and where it is I'm going to add the piece, then I take that and I paint it white.
And why do you do that?
So that you can match the background color and the print underneath is not going to come through and look, and so you would be able to notice that it was painted over top. My dad had 4 dogs and we'd have to take them out for walks every day for an hour. And so over that hour, I managed to drag home every single piece of weird desert driftwood that you could find. I started making them into creatures. This is what's inside of a beaver tail cactus.
Oh yeah.
I call it beaver tail lace.
It's beautiful.
There are just like a ton of different layers of it, and it looks just like you're on a coral reef or something. And this is from a barrel cactus. The spines when they're left behind are really strong. Yeah. So I've been making various creatures out of them.
What advice would you give a young artist starting out?
Don't spend a lot of money on art supplies. And everything is an art supply already. Like if you find something on the ground, it's an old gum wrapper can be an art supply.
For me, one of the marks of a great artist is when I experience their work, I start to look at the world differently.
That happened to me too when I looked at Hieronymus Bosch and Goya when I was a kid too. Like my mom always had masters around the house, and it does change you.
just wanted to know a little bit about your costume work.
I went to fashion school in Vancouver, and then but my stuff was always just way too weird. And people are like, "Oh, you should go into theater." So I started out at the Vancouver Opera, working in the wardrobe there, and I was just loved all the fabrics and the pageantry and the big everything that goes with opera. And I ended up going to work at the Banff Center for a few years, and I went to the National Theatre School in Montreal for costume and set design. It was, again, another life-changing thing, and that informs everything that I do now.
Thyrza, I want to thank you for letting us come into this world of wonders, kind of cabinet of curiosities.
Well, thanks so much for coming, Rhonda. I love nothing more than encouraging other people to make stuff, because it is so much fun.
Thank you so much.
Aw.